Hola. I don't know if this is going to record. Yeah, this is going to record. I know that it's going to record. This is something that we're doing for the first time from the Master Vibration 13 self-healing layer. There's so much to talk about. I've been away for a long time, and so this is my first time back. Hold on, let me send out a notice. Let me make sure we got, okay, all right. So, we're recording, we're live. There's absolutely no one watching now, so it's perfect. um, so for those that haven't seen me in a while, or if this is your first time checking out this channel, this is SCG 13, Master Vibration 13. I've been away for a very, very long time, but now I'm back because it's time to talk about things. And I'm going straight to the jugular. We're going right to sacral sexual healing. That's what we're going to be talking about. And tonight I have a special guest, someone who recognizes the power of what this sacral sexual healing is and how important it is for us to, get a grip on it right now and start healing ourselves in this nature. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friend, Sadia.
Hi.
Sadia, you want to come this way so we could? I'm gonna set up the. I'm used to doing this in a different way with YouTube, and so this is.
I love how authentic. Let me help you.
Thank you
I
so
love how
much.
authentic and just casual this is, because such a big conversation. I mean, might as well make it as real and as casual as can be. And I was introduced to Mari thanks to her gift of sacral sexual healing and what that represents. So let's see, we've got the tripod set up over here. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how beautiful that wall art is? I think that's so magnificent.
Yes, thanks to Michaela Lovely for the artwork.
Beautiful. Michaela, you know I'm a big fan of your art. Speaking of. I think that's absolutely beautiful. So
We're gonna make sure you go home with your artwork tonight. Oh, do you see those colors changing over there? That was interesting.
I think that's really pretty.
So,
Mari, you got a friend Aqua Soul.
okay. Hola, Aqua Soul Luna. Hola, hola, hola. We're gonna get started on I'm not gonna say that it's a heavy conversation. It can be heavy, but it doesn't have to be heavy.
I love that. 100%. I mean, the heaviness is only the healing for me in particular. Like, it was heavy because it made me acknowledge and realize all the luggage, all the baggage, all the emotional baggage I was carrying when it came to the necessary sacral sexual healing that I needed to go through. And through that, of course, we feel so much lighter.
And, sacral healing is something that is coming out now in a way that I don't think that we've ever experienced it before. Like, you're seeing a lot of people really free with their bodies, really free with their preferences of, this sacral kind of nature. I don't know what we could say on YouTube. Like, if I say sexual, like, is that gonna get flagged? I'm not aware. This is my first time back in a while, y'all, so I don't know. Maybe we need to
I mean,
say.
we'll find out, but the thing is, eventually, if not, there will be other alternatives. I think YouTube might be mindful of the verbiage used and specific words because the algorithm works a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard other YouTubers mention this, but at the end of the day, this is meant to reach whoever it's meant to reach.
I agree.
And yeah, it's no coincidence that anyone here watching is watching. If this message comes through, then there's a reason why it's coming through, and you're observing it in this moment. For nothing is coincidence. The word itself is two moments in time that coincide in such a cosmic and divine way. So yeah.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And that's what it's about too, is not being afraid of having these conversations, because that does suck to have to be like something as important as sacral sexual healing, and we have to be afraid of what we say when nobody's afraid of twerking. Nobody's afraid of putting all of their business on there. So we're gonna move forward with what it is that we have to say and what we have to share. Carmel Wine 7610 says no coincidence at all. That's right.
That is right.
I'm so glad that you came back, Carmel Wine, and I'm glad that you're here, Aqua Soul, Leo Luna. It's been a minute. It's been a long time, and we're planning on coming on a regular basis to have these conversations because it's time for that.
Yes.
And it's something that there's so much to dig into that one session, one conversation about it is not going to do. So what is sacral sexual healing? Do you want to give your interpretation of it?
I mean, my interpretation of it is only as far as my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that represents my sacral sexual healing journey, represented going back in time and understanding where I first awoken to.
Let's move because I can't really see you well.
Okay.
Pardon.
A shift.
Yes.
Whoop.
I think we could see you better.
I love that because now you get to see a second part of the layer and appreciate more of the beautiful art. I believe you drew
I did
this,
that one, yeah.
right? She drew this, and it's so beautiful to be in a space of so much, divine. And once again, yes, it's that sacral sexual healing. This is for me the representation of that. Do you want to come up here? We're
trying to work it out here.
It's working. I mean, I'd like to think so. So being in a space like this for me is a representation of that which sacral sexual healing is, because it's allowing that divine feminine to emerge when removing that which no longer serves us in whatever way. And that's maybe that personally for me took me back into childhood and healing trauma, sexual trauma, abuse that I needed to be able to think that it never had an impact on me. And I knew I was supposed to go through the experience of that sacral sexual healing to recognize and to know myself and to remember who I am and what that represents.
You said something really powerful right there, to remember who you are and what that represents. And that's what this is about, because we have to remember who we are so that we're able to move forward in what's happening in life. Okay, so sexual trauma, the reason why that's so important and so powerful is because that's how we all came. That's how we all got here. The womb is everything. And when that energy center is damaged, the entire planet is damaged. And that has been damaged on this plane for a very long time. This subject is a very taboo subject. You don't talk about it. When you suffer through trauma, you got to figure it out on your own. You get through it. You don't talk about it. You don't tell anybody. You hide it, and you just keep pushing it in and pushing it in until, look around in the world, until that happens. And that's what's happening right now. People are exploding from keeping all of these things inside, all of these things that you can't hide it. It's energy and it has to go somewhere. And where is it going? So it's time for us to look at it dead in the face. What is it? We're not the only ones that have experienced this kind of trauma. And this trauma has happened to everybody that comes into this planet. It begins when you get injected with a thing, when you get slapped on the booty, when you get taken prematurely from the umbilical cord, from the womb. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that have happened for a very long time. And we can get into, through this series of sacral sexual healing, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. However, today is just about expressing the importance of this conversation and how it came to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was away for a long time. You guys know that have been watching with the Orgone technology, Orgone Energy Batteries, and it got to a time where spirit was moving me to go into a direction where I had to go deeper into my self-healing. And so I decided that it was time to start getting out again with the Orgone technology. And so I was featured in a magazine. I'm going to show you the magazine that I was featured in.
Spirited Soul magazine.
Spirited Soul magazine.
Had you given a copy to?
I have it back here.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, shout out to Lori, founder of Spirited Soul magazine, and she created this aspect of putting all different people with big ideas in regards to their truth and put that in physical form, like Maddie over here was able to do.
So this is the magazine. It's backwards, huh?
No, it's
fine. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, the Spirited Soul magazine, this is the first one that I saw. And when I saw it, this was sitting in my car when I was cleaning out my car. And I didn't know who put it there, but I saw it and I was attracted to it. I opened it up, and all of the stories that were in here talking about art, talking about soul and spirit and people that are doing things, with what is this one? This one was about with a silent flap of its wing, and it's talking about rediscovering life through love and recovery. And so people that go through things and need recovery, need attention to their inner selves, right? And it's not something that a doctor can help you with. And we'll get to that. But when I saw this magazine, I was like, I want to be in this magazine. And so I opened up the magazine. I looked up the publisher, Lori Blanchard. I wrote her an email and I asked her if she was interested in doing a story about Orgone Energy, Orgone technology. And she got back to me immediately. And she said, absolutely. She told me that it was a bold thing for me to do, to take that step and contact her in that way. And I agreed. I said, yes, it was. And it was just that time when spirit moves you to do something, you do it. And so she said that I had to have the article ready by the next week. I had the article ready by the next day. And that article was published in the summer magazine of Spirited Soul. I'm on page 22.
I love that.
And I took my glasses off. Do you see that number on there? Oh, there it is. Okay. So this was the article in Spirited Soul magazine. And you will definitely get an opportunity to meet Lori Blanchard, because ever since that time, it just started this magical circle. I don't even want to say the word magical, because it would seem like magical is like something that this is something that was ordained to happen, something that where quantum alignment, an alignment that happened, that needed to happen, that was progressing through the vibration, through the authentic vibration of the individuals involved. So once we did that, the magazine, she featured me at an event. And so in this event,
That's where I showed up.
so in this event, well, actually, yeah, is that where you?
That was the real
that was the first,
moment
the first time
yeah.
that you connected to the work. Yes, and so on that day, I had enough Orgone Energy Batteries for the people that attended. And I wasn't planning, we were planning on 16 people being there, but it ended up just being uh nine people, and it was 9 women. And from these 9 women, the question was asked, how many of you experienced sexual trauma? And
While I was holding this Orgone battery, and this had a very powerful, still does, very, very powerful energy, because it, I can literally feel it alchemizing whatever I'm carrying within. And it was a very beautiful journey to experience the power of Orgone energy. And I remember very early on you had said Orgone brings things to the surface prior to even grasping an Orgone battery. And that was very interesting, because I didn't know what you meant in the moment. But when I was in its energy and just in a state of allowance to allow whatever needed to come through in that experience, I was able to feel its energy literally just travel through me and transmit a very powerful charge that led me on a mental journey, almost, where it's like going back in time, you know, and traveling through all these different versions of myself. And as I was going through that in this psychological, you know, and I know that that's spirit traveling in a metaphysical realm. And it's just like, go back and look at all these things that made you who you are today. And as I was going through a specific chapter of my life, where the chapter I was in that mental journey was my childhood and the sexual abuse I went through, that was the exact same moment you asked us, all the women who experienced sexual abuse. And the moment you said that, I mean, you saw my reaction. It was just there was nothing, it was just a very powerful transmutation, an alchemization of everything that I've been carrying was brought to light into truth in that moment. And that was extremely powerful, extremely powerful. So and that's how I knew that that was my cosmic alignment with this woman, and that I knew Lori, and Lori introduced me to that energy. And I knew that was, speaking of a coincidence, that was just what is a cosmically two moments that come together for your greater good, for that journey of self-healing and self-discovery.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to see. Be patient with us, guys. This is our first time doing this in this way. We want to make sure we get to what you guys are saying. Okay, no coincidence at all. That's right. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Right. And most times you're shamed when you do get traumatized.
Yes.
Most times, we're going to say about 99.9% of the time, you're shamed.
And we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Just,
because it's a shame. You don't, you got to figure that out. Hola, Usiku. Hola, 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 hola. Usiku is a friend, a dear friend. He's been, oh, shoot, it's been over 15, 20 years now, Usiku. He's introduced me. We've done a lot of work together with different people on the Ringing Stone Network. We did a lot of work there. It's good to see you. Carmel Wine 7610 says, nice, you're definitely gifted with this. I've checked your website and it doesn't work. Are you aware of this? Yes, I am aware of it because we are see, this is, and we're definitely gonna get to that. This is what's so exciting about rebirth and the new life. So mastervibration13.com is definitely gonna be coming back. So be patient with us. Everything is being redirected, revamped, redone. It is no longer an LLC. It's been conveyed to a ministry. I have so much to catch you guys up on. There's so much that I've done that you don't know, but what you do know is that this that you see behind us, we're at the Master Vibration 13 self-healing layer, and you guys know that we've been working on this for over, actually it's been over 20 years, but since 2010, when we directly started the faith tour, that's when we started on this vision. And it's happening organically, authentically. We're in line and in tune with what's happening on the planet, and we're coming to bring solutions. And so the first thing, first and foremost, is your sacred sexual energy. That needs to be in order. That needs to be in healing mode, because we're here on the planet. We're never going to be healed while we're here fully. But we have to be in healing mode, conscious healing, right? And so when Sadia experienced the orgone, what happened was that for me, that was just a confirmation of what I've been working with for the last 13 years. And the way that it's been working in my life, it has been so effective that it was something that I had to go into my hibernation. I had to do my private study with the private clients. A lot of you, that are watching this have Orgone Energy Batteries. And so you've been doing the study right along with me. It's been a life study. And to see somebody feel it in that time and have the experience that she had. Now, the magical part of all of this, and I'm saying I'm not going to keep using magical, but the very powerful.
Magic is our nature. It's just who we are.
That's true.
Everything about the reality we experience is magical. I mean, if we're going to use magic, then use it in a way where we're not segregating what is magical and what is not.
Ache, high five. I like that. So what was magical about what happened is with the Orgone technology, and let me just break down for some of you that may have forgotten, but Orgone is crystals, metals, and resin, and you put it together in layers, and it creates a scalar wave. A scalar wave is a multi-dimensional energy that moves faster than the speed of light. So in just you looking at it right now, it's already working on you. How is it working on you? It's transforming low vibrational energy to high vibrational beneficial energy. And so it brings things up that are necessary for healing, and it's gonna do the work in healing things energetically. But when it comes to what needs to be healed within yourself, that's work that needs to be done by you and only you. So I know that you want, the magic of crystals are wonderful, but it can't do all the work. It can create the space so that you can do the work that needs to be done. And what the Orgone Energy Battery did, it helped bring the energy up that she needed to deal with, and it also helps soften the blow so that she's able to receive the energy, take a look at it, and work with it, integrate it immediately, so that she wasn't left there in tears, sad because she brought up this trauma that happened when she was a little girl. She was able to alchemize it right there, and that was the key right there. You alchemized it.
I love that you said that, because it's very important. One of the points I started with was being an allowance and setting the intention of whatever was going to come through that experience, and whatever other experience I may add, uh, what is it teaching me about myself? What is it
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell me?
Mm-hmm.
And this was one of those experiences that had such a profound impact because I am in a state of allowance and I just surrender to whatever the highest good has uh, in store for that specific experience. And as we do that, we allow ourselves to create healing because that is truly what healing is all about. Healing is uh, also an art of letting go of that which no longer serves us, letting go of limitations, letting go of this persona that we've created that is not a representation of who we truly are in our essence.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks to you, I was able to just allow that to be released.
Mm-hmm.
And there was work that had to be done
Yes.
prior to that experience even
Yes.
happening because I, like you said, I could have like totally resisted to it and
Mm-hmm.
seen it as like this is a traumatic thing that happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of coming out of it in a way that is empowering, I come out a victim.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, it was also important for me to realize, and that's a big lesson that I learned that day, victimization does not serve me in any way.
Mm-hmm.
And that my traumas, my history, everything that I've experienced was just there in order to activate what needed to be activated for my greatest empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you.
You're very welcome. You are so welcome. And she brings up the work because the work needs to be done. Once the information comes up, you have to make the choice to do the work. And a lot of times people will throw the orgone away. They're like, nah, I'm not dealing with that right now. And so you have to do the work and making the choice to want to look at it and heal it. Carmel Wine says, that's true, and we cannot suppress this energy even if we don't have a partner. I've learned. Look, not having a partner is a huge part. I've had a partner and I've had to separate from this partner so that I can do this work with myself. And you could do the work if you have a partner. You don't have to separate from your partner to do the work. Like you don't have to break up with them, but you still do have to separate from your partner to do the work because you came onto this planet by yourself. You're going to leave by yourself. No one can do the work for you. It doesn't matter how long you've known them, how closely you are connected, marriage, no marriage, it does not matter. You are here to do the work for yourself, by yourself, with yourself. And I say that you're not alone, right? Being with yourself and being alone is completely different. And nobody here is alone. There's just no way that we could possibly be alone. It's impossible. Spirit is louder than you think. And those people that are in their loneliest places when they're all alone, they're the ones that definitely recognize the power of the spirit and the presence of that energy. And the reason why it's so important to be with yourself is because you want to desensitize from things so that you can have more discernment in what your own energy is, in what when you're in a relationship with somebody, there's always a compromise that's happening there, for the sake of the relationship, whatever it is. When you're with yourself, there is no compromise. You got to look at everything and there's no more excuses. So you can't say, oh, I'm this way because of my relationship, because of this person. And it takes away all the excuses when you're just with yourself. You're this way because of you, and you have to look at how you can shift it in the places that need to be shifted. You can't put that on anybody. We live in a society where people think that somebody else is going to save them, where somebody else is going to make them happy, where somebody else is going to fix them, where somebody else is the solution for whatever problems they have. And that's why we're in the space that we're in right now. And so now we're in a time where we have to rely on ourselves. We have to make that connection with source. And in order for us to make that connection with source, we have to make that connection with ourselves and who we are and stop running away from the trauma. Because in what is it? The lotus. We talk about the lotus all the time. The deeper and the scarier and the darker your problems, the lighter the light on the other side. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't have In order for you to experience good things, then you have to know what it's like to be in a bad place. That's just nature. You have to know what the polarities are. So, Carmel Wine says, right, because of our creativity and flow in life is connected to this. Absolutely, 100%. We are naturally, organically connected to source, period. And so when we make that connection, and this connection is a very intimate and personal connection. These times of churches where you go to a building with a whole bunch of people and you pray together with a whole bunch of people and you believe what that one person is saying over there in the pulpit, that time is done. That time is done. You are the savior. So you got to figure out who you are so that you can save yourself. And that healing begins with your sacred sexual energy. That is how you came here. That is how you got here. So in this series that we're doing, we're taking it right back to the beginning. And one of the things that is part of this series, the first question that we ask, and by the way, what we're doing here publicly is to share what's happening privately. We're going to be working on different things and different events here at the Lair, here in Northern California, where we're going to give people an opportunity to do this work comfortably in a space where, they can do their work and not among a whole bunch of people. This is as public as we're getting is in the information that we're sharing here. We're going to have a private session where Sadia is going to go a little deeper on what happened when she connected with that orgone. What was what process was she taken through, and how was the healing process? Because we're talking about it now on this side, but when it first started, it happened, and then it was like pretty much every day or every other day we were connecting just to kind of touch base and all of the different experiences that she was having. So we're going to go deeper into that in private. Today, what we're doing, I definitely wanted to introduce you guys to Sadia because Sadia was so inspired by what she felt with this energy that she decided to, become a part of this movement of sacral sexual healing, Master Vibration 13, Infinite Air Ministries, everything that we've been working on all of these years. Well, now Sadia's come to bring a different aspect. She was able to unleash her superpowers and make some decisions on how she wants to move forward in her career. And without giving too much away, let's just say that she's investing her infinite energy into this vision, into assisting other people in coming to their self-realization, their self-actualization. Her name is Sadia, and Carmel Wine says, "Hi, Sadia. Thanks for sharing your healing experience and story."
Thank you for being present and for allowing my story to resonate with you in whatever way. And thank you for that beautiful share and introduction, I guess. I I've been very, yes, like Mari said, Orgone Energy was the invitation I needed in order to connect back to what you were saying. It's like you have to heal yourself first. You have to spend time with yourself. And it was basically just that invitation to just know thyself. And that just doesn't come just with the orgone. I can't just be like, oh yeah, just, touch this. And it's like some, it could be, but there must have been a prior work done in terms of knowing thyself. And yeah.
I'm cheesing over here because she said there had to be something more, and there was something more. I want to share a little something more about Sadia. Sadia came here from Morocco.
All the way from Northern Africa.
Can I get a little can I get a little personal?
Yes, of course.
with $75.
Yeah.
With $75, she came to America. What in the Sam hell make you do that? Like what?
Oh, so yeah, little background story. I mean, in order for me to answer that question, I must give some background context. So I was born in Miami. I grew up there until I was 8, and then my parents were like, oh, perfect age for a cultural shock. So they take their 8-year-old daughter, and my little sister was 3, across the globe to Morocco, where both my parents are ethnically from. And they're like, welcome home. So not only was that like a major cultural shock because of everything being different, the language, the food, the culture, the architecture, absolutely everything. And on top of that, it was a major identity crisis because who I thought was Sadia, or also nicknamed as Sadie, went to Morocco and became Sadia. And you're just like, who is that? So that gives you just being able to have an experience that creates that kind of contrast, allows you to want to be like, okay, well, there that there's more to the world than just where I've been introduced. You know, especially since from birth to 8 or 7 usually, that's when your brain is literally under hypnosis. Or theta frequencies. Basically, you're just a sponge absorbing everything happening around you, because in order for you to be conscious of something, there must first be data that you're then going to sort through. So anyways, long story short, after living in multiple different countries, I got to live in Spain, France, Dubai, UK, London. And I was like, you know what? I want to figure out, well, even prior to that, I was actually running my own event management and catering company that I did for 6 years in Morocco. And next thing you know, COVID hits and I lose everything because I'm trying to keep this business alive, because I had people that were working with me that needed to support their families, and that was their only revenue. So I had to just make sure everyone was collectively surviving through that period, and we managed, and it was a very difficult time. And after I lost everything. So I was like, you know what? I've never lived in the US ever since I was born there. Let's find out how that's like. And I moved to New York, where I stayed for 8 months. New York, when you do not necessarily have history, I mean, let alone history. I mean, it's a very expensive city. And I literally had $75 in my pocket because I was like, let's find out how we can make things happen. But here's what is the way we make things happen, the way we bring, I really wanted to test out manifestation. Can I truly create this reality for myself? Yeah. Carmel Wine is like, New York with $75. It was crazy. And this is where the power of manifestation and knowing thyself truly allows things to just work for you, because you're giving your trust in the divine, and you're like, God, I know you're gonna work this out. And I was able, a childhood friend of mine decided, hey, I'm gonna come too. Like, let's go to New York. And God brought my way the right people to help me out, to literally manifesting a family and finding myself in California. And that's been quite a journey. I mean, I could go on and on about how really surrendering to not carrying any worry. And the thing is, you have to be aware of it. It's difficult not to, but I came to the realization that our physical reality is just a mere reflection of my inner reality. Yes, Carmel Wine just said, 7610 said, yes, crazy faith served you good. Not only did it serve me good, it transformed the way I experience life itself. As of today, I was able to manifest God has brought my way such an incredible being that I got to heal something even deeper within me. And I was about, like, God always made it that the right people showed up, the right experiences, the right opportunities, and being in a state of allowance and saying yes, and saying yes, because if God brought this my way, then it is what it's meant to be. And even in moments of hardships, because trust me, there were so many difficult moments where you're just like on the brink of just I'm done. This isn't right. I need to go back to Morocco. What was I thinking? And I remember one day I was journaling about how alone I felt and how difficult it was, and I hate feeling this alone. And I remember just in that moment taking a deep breath and hearing a whisper say, "Read that again." And I'm like, "Huh? Read what again?" And it's like, "Read that again." And I'm looking at my journal and I'm like, "I feel alone? What?" And then it kept pestering me to read it again. And by the third time, I had noticed that I had accidentally left a little space between the L and the O. And when I read that again, it's like, I feel all one. And in that moment, this overpowering feeling of oneness just, and it, when connected to source in that way, we become unstoppable, because we have the most high, the best way to connect to source and to allow things to come through. And that was such a gift, and I was very fortunate to acknowledge oneness. And that's not something that we all have that, and that's my purpose, and that's my vision, and that's my mission, where I understand that it would be selfish for me to keep this to myself. And so thank you for allowing me to share that.
And it's interesting that you said it would be selfish to keep it to yourself, because that's part of the reason, that's part of what made me come back. And y'all that have been on this channel for a long time know that I've been here for a minute, and there's been many times that it was like, forget that, I don't want to, I'm tired, I'm done, who's listening? And it's not even about who's listening, it's about releasing the information so that it can come out of my body, out of my mouth. I could release it, whoever's meant to find it will find it, and then I'm able to move on. Because when you hold on to gifts that are meant to be shared, they're gonna mess with you. It's like having something inside that's bothering you, that just needs to come out. And so helping others, it's not just to help other people. It helps me in helping others, because I know that I'm not the only one that has been sexually traumatized, and I'm not the only one that has survived it, and I'm not the only one that has been going into different avenues of what healing is, and recognizing that in healing, the sacral sexual trauma that happens is like having a whole new beginning of life. Because when you could look at yourself without the shame, without the guilt, without the sorrow, without the depression, without the sadness, that changes your whole entire world, and it makes room for what you really came here to do. See, this sacral trauma, it exists in the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is right below your belly button, is the color orange. And this sacral chakra, it runs everything in your life, the way that you feel about yourself, the way that the things that you believe, it all exists there in that sacral. And when that sacral is damaged, people are paralyzed and they cannot move. They get stuck. They turn into addicts of anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a drug addiction. A lot of times it is a sexual addiction that happens. And some people think that a sexual addiction or sexual trauma is something like horrifying and violent. It's not. It can be very subtle. It could be very manipulating. You know, like when you, okay, remember the commercial of Carl's Jr. when they had the burger and she's eating the burger and she's got this suit on and it's just so tasty and the burger and the juice is just dripping and she's got, you know, all of her boobies hanging out and she's on a car. Like, it was a Carl's Jr. commercial, but it was actually sexually traumatizing any child, any person that was not ready to receive that kind of seduction. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what media does. It's what it has done this forever. And it has affected people so much that because, you know, sex is such a taboo topic, it's okay to be traumatized about it, but just not say anything. Just don't speak on it. And this is how all of the trauma continues to happen because it's something that gets so not talked about and so hidden that, you know, nobody says anything. And thanks to goodness, this is the time where all of that is done. That time is over. It is now time to reveal all of it, not to shame anybody, but so that we can heal and so that we can start creating societal ways where these things are not acceptable. And it is okay to talk about this kind of trauma. And it is okay to educate young people on what this energy is, what it does, how to use it, and how to keep yourself protected. And that is what is being created through these collaboratives that are happening, new ways for us to start healing the planet. But it first starts with ourselves. Like for me, I wanted to heal everybody in the world. When I was little, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to heal the world like Michael Jackson. And, you know, you get to living in the world and you realize that it's not like that. You know, you got to heal yourself. If you want to heal other people, you got to heal yourself.
Yes.
You know, Jesus, a lot of people remember Jesus, right? And people have totally idolized Jesus and have really jacked Jesus up. But Jesus was an example of what could be done when we make that connection. Buddha was also that kind of example. So, you know, we have to do it ourselves. Caramel
I
wine.
think they were like two. Okay.
Go ahead.
So caramel wine, we're never alone. I would always get whispered that to me. I love that. I think that's so beautiful because that is so true. And then I believe that's why demons and principalities target from young. Yes, to take light away from souls. Majority of people never heal. 100%. I mean, I feel that completely. I feel like the people that, like the media industry itself, there's an intent behind it, right? There's an intent in order to be able to just take that energy, since that energy is what makes us work in this limited realm. And as for the majority of people never heal, I feel like we're experiencing a shift. I would like to believe that in the future that I remember, people have collectively said enough is enough. You can deceive me all you want, you can show me all you want, but within me I carry the power to heal myself. Not everyone's going to choose that,
Right.
but nevertheless, the reason why these conversations and these exchanges are happening wouldn't be happening if we weren't choosing a different future for ourselves, a future where we're healing, a future where we're collectively collaborating and working together, because now more than ever is the time for that. And that goes back to this purpose here. You know, when we were kids, we want to heal the world. And I love what you said earlier, like the only way to heal the world is by healing yourself. And I don't know who had said this, but I know there's a famous quote that if you want to change, become the change you aspire to see in the world. And I mean, the way that resonates for me is so powerful, because this goes deep into understanding the energetic nature of reality and what our physical reality represents, because it is truly like scientific, like quantum physics is literally asserting this, that what you see on the outside is just a mere reflection of that which you are observing. Quantum physics and any quantum science is the only science that factors in the observer, meaning who? Meaning you. It would not be that which is if it wasn't for what you are observing. And with that being said, it's this these are the definitions that we've been carrying on through the media,
Mm-hmm.
all these things that take our light away, but we can change that and alchemize it in
Mm-hmm.
order to be able to create the reality we prefer. So for Carmel Wine's 7610's last comments, yes, it's a collective awakening because we're just choosing a better future for ourselves.
Absolutely. And that's what it is making the choice for yourself to want to heal. There's something to be said about divine timing, because I've been talking about sexual healing for a very long time. And for a very long time, it was unacceptable to even touch in those realms, again, because of it being so taboo. But it's so much in our face now that something has to be done about it. And this is why, we can say, oh, all of these horrible things that have happened in the world, but they've been happening. This is now the time to heal those horrible things that have been happening in the world, because now we get to, it's a purge. We get to see what's happening, what needs to be healed. And having the responsibility of doing that for yourself is the most empowering thing you could ever do. Because at this point in my life, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very grounded. I know who I am and what I came here to do. I'm so grateful that I am prepared for this time, because in this time, there's a lot of people that are losing their minds because they're afraid. They're so scared of everything on the outside. They're scared of somebody telling them, look, this is going to happen and you better do this. If you don't do this, that's going to happen. And that's a horrible place to exist in. I know my place. I know that I create my world by the vibrational frequency that I carry, the conscious vibrational frequency that I carry, because I recognize that my life is created by my subconscious thoughts. So I make sure and I have a system for myself where I know that my consciousness is in a higher realm, right? I'm not worried about anything. I am not fearful about anything. Now, mind you, there are times where fear happens. It's part of our energetic makeup. It's a sign. What am I fearing? I'm not afraid of fear. What am I fearing? What am I so afraid of? And so I start asking these questions to myself, and then the answer comes immediately. And then I recognize that there is never anything to fear. We just have to acknowledge that it is existing because something in us needs to pay attention. We need to move in a particular way. Like when you've heard of the moms that get all of the incredible power when something happens to their children, and all of a sudden they have the power to lift up a vehicle. There's these things happen because of the power of your mind and your intention. And so if you recognize that this is your power all the time, then you start keeping it for yourself. You start recognizing all of the things that you're able to do with your choice, with your silence, with your words, with your presence, or with your absence. There's so much that can be done. Hola, Orisha Stone. Welcome. Orisha Stone, ladies and gentlemen, last night we did a podcast about AI. You definitely have to check that out on the Orisha Stone network. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, so people are definitely waking up, and there are people like Orisha Stone. We're talking about sacred sexual healing on the Ashe Network as well, African Spirituality Experience. And then we're bringing you now here on Master Vibration 13, this platform, we're bringing you the whole entire journey of Master Vibration 13, self-healing, sacral, sexual healing, and moving with this energy, this sacred sexual energy, how you can use it to create your infinite life. And be it the infinite being that you are, you're only going to be able to access infinite wealth when you do your self-healing. You can't skip it. You can't, there's no shortcuts. Like, how many millionaires and billionaires exist now that took the shortcuts and they're miserable in their lives trying to get adrenochrome and all kinds of different things so that they could stay young and try to live happy lives and have as much sex as they want to have because they think that that's going to make things better. We don't have to talk about that right now.
I love how we started this questioning how the YouTube algorithm works for the wording, and she's like, I don't really care. I'm just gonna say it as it is. No, I love that. That's important because now's the time for that. Now's the time for saying it as it is, and to be able to just remember the power we carry within us. Karma Wine said, "Hi, Solar Childil 5751."
Hola, Solar Child 5751. Welcome.
And Karma Wine said they're losing it all.
Yes.
100%. And I like what you were saying earlier about, like, right now it's like that purge, right? It's all that darkness, all that, I don't even like to call it darkness, but it's just that contrast that needs to be created, because you wouldn't be able to recognize light without the absence of it, right? And you mentioned absence earlier. Absence is also very important because darkness is just the absence of light. And we need to be able to experience the contrast to be like, okay, there's a reality we prefer. And if that's the reality we prefer, then as you've mentioned, we tune into that using our energetic frequency. We have the ability of being able to charge ourselves with intention, with visualization that aligns with that reality we prefer. I feel like we've been also programmed and indoctrinated to forget how powerful we are as human. And thus the reason why sacred sexual healing is so important, because that really taps you back to the roots, to the womb. And even darkness, in a sense, is so important. And that's part of it, because that's the roots. You know, if we're going to take the analogy of a plant, like, a plant doesn't grow tall and strong in light if it hasn't done that in darkness first.
That's
the
right.
Roots need to ground real deep, real far into the darkness in order for it to emerge into such a powerful and beautiful thing. So as we acknowledge that whatever it is that we're experiencing right now, it's just a shift, okay? It's just like, it's all a bad dream where we realize, oh wait, I can change the narrative and the script of this in order for it to align more with the reality I prefer. And that's why it's so important to turn the TVs off, and mainly the media, right? I mean, the way that the news just want to create this fear-mongering narrative, that does not serve us one bit. And as you we're talking about fear, I remember this this acronym I had for fear that I've heard somewhere, and it never left me. And it's false evidence appearing real. Fear is just that. It's this belief that you have downloaded somewhere as you were growing up from a parent, from a family member, an energy that you picked up that isn't yours. Think of it as a virus, and that you need to be able to tap into it to find out, where does this stem from, and get rid of it, because it's outdated. It's not serving you, whatever belief you have. So for example, to go back to what I was talking in regards to my journey, coming to the US with $75, that can sound extremely fearful to any sane person. But that's the thing. I chose
You was crazy?
I was crazy. I chose to be insane, because everything, what is normal?
Right,
you know?
right.
What is even
Yeah,
normal?
no, you got to be crazy.
And that's what allows source to show up for you. That's what, like, this is how the divine can come through. Because when you're in a field of infinite potentiality, and there's like infinite possibilities all at once, and that you're going to focus and you're going to set your mind into whatever is going to occur right now is for my highest good. And as I continue sharing that narrative with myself, then what do you think the outcome's going to be?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was something, and you beautifully stated about the darkness. I'm big on darkness because of what you said, the womb. The darkness, you have to go in the dark, and you cannot be afraid of that darkness, because in that darkness is where you find everything. The most beautiful things come out of the darkness, just as you stated. And so we've been afraid of the boogeyman for so long that this whole fear thing we've been indoctrinated with fear from the movies, from your households, from everybody around is scared of something. And most people don't want to look at fear in the face unless they're forced to. And then once they're forced to, then it's like, oh, now I get it. Thank you for taking me to the depths of darkness so that I could wake the hell up. And so that's what's happening to a lot of people. So like when people are at their lowest, or what they feel is their lowest, I get excited for them. I ain't even gonna front. It's like, oh, here you come.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what you're gonna decide, because it is a decision that you make. You're gonna heal, or you're gonna continue to be scared. And that is truly what it is fear, is being scared of the unknown. We have been shown images and ideas of who we are, all lies, all of them lies. The only way you're going to find the truth is going within, right? And so that's what we're here for. I am so excited and so happy that you guys came to join us tonight on this very first of many sacred sexual healing episodes. This is a series that's going to go on and on. I'll be talking about this more on Orisha Stone channel. I'll be talking about it at the Ache channel. I'll be talking about it everywhere I go, in Northern California, Puerto Rico, Arizona, Miami, Morocco, Bali, everywhere where it's time for sacred sexual healing to truly happen. And for those that joined us late, I'm going to give you something. We're going to be doing these things in our private sessions as well. And that's what we want to encourage you to participate in the private sessions. So I'm going to give you one thing that we do in the private sessions. And this is your assignment for today, for your beginning of this. Think about your first sexual experience. What was that? And I'm not talking about physical, right? The first time that you saw something or felt something that made you feel uncomfortable, that made you feel like, uh-oh, something is not right, or maybe, ooh, something is right. I better be quiet. Was it a commercial that you saw? Was it a magazine? Did you hear something that you weren't supposed to hear? Did you see something maybe you weren't supposed to see? And you just kept it. Yeah. And so ask yourself what that was, because that moment started having an impact on the rest of your life, how you saw yourself, how you saw others, the things that you believe in. It all stems from your sexual energy. And so we're going to get to the bottom of it. Sadia, thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest today. Oh, I want to say hola to Matt Alliston Bay. Hola, so good to see you here. One of the old school friends. You're just getting settled in. I'm not gonna look. You know what I learned too about YouTube? Nobody has the attention span that they used to have back in the day. So I want to thank you for those of you that stayed here for the whole time, for the whole 62 minutes that we were on. This was a total experiment. We weren't sure how we were going to do it. We just knew that we had to do it. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by Spirited Soul magazine. Lori Blanchard is going to be our next guest. We're going to have her together on this podcast, because this is something really powerful that's happening in the world. People coming together to do the healing for yourself first, and then to share. Because I know right now there's a lot of people that are reading, getting things from ChatGPT, getting information from the internet, and they're wanting to go out there and create a whole career on healing other people without doing the work for themselves. That doesn't work. We're seeing that doesn't work. You have to do it yourself. And so we're here to help you so that you can do it for yourself and find other avenues, other people that can assist you. But you got to make the choice. You got to do it yourself, and you got to do the work all by yourself.
Also, check out these Orgone batteries. They they changed my life. So hey, I feel like it's only fair to give them a little spotlight.
If you're interested in connecting with an Orgone Energy Battery, we're doing Master Vibration kits. If you're interested in connecting with one, you can connect with me directly at 818-233-5776. Please send a text first. That's 818-233-5776. I also want to send a major shout out to Solution Ministries. Without Solution Ministries, Infinite Ministries couldn't be. So thank you, I'm Minister Solution, for everything that you have done and everything that you continue to do. And the family, the Ansleys, the Lees, the Torres, the Rodriguez, the Ibrahims, right? Ache, the our sister Blanchards, the Blanchard families. We have so much coming. If you are interested in assisting us in continuing to do the work at the Lair, you can send a contribution via Cash App. You can also send a text, and I'll let you know exactly how to do it. It is tax deductible, and you are helping a great organization do this very powerful and magnificent work. So, do you have anything you want to leave with?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll catch you next time. We don't know exactly when the next time is going to be. It's going to be authentic.
Timing.
Divine timing. Yes, that's what it is. So thank you so much for tuning in. Share this. Please share, like, and subscribe. I hate doing that. I'm going to, you know what? Do what you want to do, okay? If you're feeling this, do what you feel you need to do so that you can stay focused on making sure that you don't miss something. Do what you want, okay? Thank you so much and have a good night. Adios.